Hey everyone, welcome to the West Coast POPCast. I am hosting this week and I'm here with the usual people. Noc, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm assuming the role is Les Champions since our Brock Lesnar champ is here. Let's have a good show. Thanks for the views, guys.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, Eric is staying at a 2-star resort today as he's on vacation. So he will not be joining us this week. And all I want to say, Eric, is that's my job. Zach, how are you?
I'm good. I don't have a belt made out of myrrh like Eric does, but we miss you, buddy.
Yeah, we miss you, dude. Kind of, sort of. But anyways, we have another tier list for you guys here today. Since we do this like every week, you guys know the drill. We rank people with F being the best, D being the worst. And do you wanna explain this tier list and who's responsible for it?
Oh yeah, we don't know who's responsible for it, but it is on the Tier Maker website. So if you want to do this one yourselves with your friends, and also if someone was missed during this 2009 to 2019 WWE Championship tier list, just find them and rip on them.
Yep, and as I can see here, it is actually, in fact, Kermit the Frog, so blame Kermit, guys. But let's get started. I am going to start off with an easy one. Rey Mysterio. Why don't we start off with you, Noc, since you're a Rey fan?
I'm Rey's biggest fan, one of my favorites of all time, but his WWE title run wasn't good. I love that he got the belt, but he couldn't even hold it for past the night, and that was terrible. So I got to give it a C. If it was anyone else below Rey, I would give it something else worse.
A C? Don't you?
Yeah.
Like, even after he won it so triumphantly, you're still going to give him a C?
They squashed him. He couldn't walk out the building without being champ. So he couldn't do anything. It wasn't his fault. He just couldn't do anything with it.
That's true. Eric, sorry, not Eric. Zach, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, this was just weak. I don't know why they made some guy that was a main eventer a placeholder for a belt, and who's the asshole that beat him for it?
Cena.
Your favorite.
Oh man, add on to the list.
Yep. And Eric, what about you, man? Eric? Oh, right. He's not here. He's on vacation. So it looks like I'm going to have to decide. I'm going to have to decide where Rey Mysterio stands. Yeah, damn, I wasn't expecting you guys to put him in C. I don't really honestly think he did that bad. I kind of liked how the little guy came up on top and, won the biggest title in the promotion at the time. I thought that was something special. So I'm going to, even though he's going to stay in C, I'm going to give him a B. All right. So let's move on to his tag team partner, Mr. Batista. Now, Zach, do you remember Batista's title run in 2009?
I do. My internet's cutting out, but I only remember part of it. But I do like heel Batista, but it was forgettable.
How so, though?
Because I don't really remember that much of it. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. So
yeah,
my fault for being old, maybe.
I mean, it's not even your fault because, honestly, I don't even really remember this all too well. So I guess that really kind of disqualifies me and Zach. Noc, do you remember?
Yeah, I think B is a good spot for it. He finally turned heel. He had a great heel one. He was really good as a heel. You finally seen that side of him. It's the first time he's seen him and Cena finally have a feud together and go head to head. So that's the most memorable thing about it. Breaking arms and chairs, stuff like that. This is when he quit also. So there's a lot of good stuff you can look back on, but thinking about it, might not remember. I think a B is fine for him.
A B? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just take your word and put him in B too. Same with you, Zach?
Yeah, that's fine. Who won the belt off of him?
Yeah.
Cena took it from him.
And his name is John Cena!
Cena, your favorite. Strike two. And speaking of which, why don't we bring out Mr. Cena right now? Noc, what do you think about John Cena? Let's get your opinion first.
I'm gonna speak for two. So Eric, the Ghost, actually wanted to put his vote in for Cena for the S class. And honestly, I might put him there too. He's the 16-time champ. He's been the guy for the company. I don't like his stuff. I think Edge really got him there. But, I mean, he is the guy. And I think looking at this list, he's took the title from everyone on his list, pretty much. So I think I get him in S class.
That's true. But, you know, he did a lot of, like, dirty work backstage, to kind of get where he was at the time.
I want to hear Zach's pick.
Yeah, Zach, what do you think?
D, this guy.
I know he's stewing right now.
He ruined himself, man. Giving him the title so much just killed him. Again, I get why people like him because I was a Hulkamaniac, but I also get why people hated Hulk Hogan because that's why I hate Cena.
Mm-hmm. And emphasis on he was a Hulkamaniac, not anymore.
No, I got cured. Yeah, he just, I don't know, man. Every time he got the title, it was like, of course. They just, I feel like too many people didn't get the runs they deserve. I feel Edge and Orton didn't get the heel runs they deserve. They got great heel runs, but I mean, they should have been mega villains. I feel a lot of people didn't get pushes because it was all about Cena being the champ either going into or coming out of WrestleMania. I just feel like him as champ wasted talent.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of an answer I expected out of you, but harsh.
Oh, I was being pretty nice, I thought.
That's true. For Cena, yeah, you're being pretty lenient. But John Cena, like, let's put him in B, because Noc, you swayed my opinion. Like, you're right. He did beat out everyone in this list, and he was the top guy at the time, and he was the one making money for the WWE, like the most money for WWE at the time. So I'll give him that. But at the same time, he's so vanilla. He's so fucking boring. He does the same shit every single time, and you know, it's just like Triple H 2.0. Like, take the title off of him. I don't care. But you know what? Noc swayed my opinion. I say B. Eric's Ghost says S. Noc, did you say S as well?
Yeah, I think for now for S. Like, again, he's not one of my favorites anymore, but I can't lie. He did, have the company on his back. At one point, he was the guy.
So I think
for
S's.
now, he will not stay there. But for now, with me and Eric's vote, we'll leave him in S.
Okay. Zach, how do you feel about that?
I feel, well, we should just move on.
Moving along then. Let's see. Why don't we choose a man who is no longer part of WWE?
Ooh.
Jon Moxley. Zach, what do you think about?
I'm debating between a B and a C. The belt didn't really help him. Like, he's great as an AEW champion, but he wasn't that with WWE. So I'll be nice because I did like the build up to him winning the belt. I'll say B minus.
B minus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's a good spot for him too. His character work is great, and I'm glad that they finally gave him a run. But I wouldn't say it was really significant compared to the others on this list. Noc, do you agree or disagree?
I almost gave him a C, but the whole Shield winning it in the one night was kind of cool, and he did get that nice win. It just his run wasn't good, right? And he lost it right away. I don't know if he might have defended it once and lost to AJ. It was a quick run. It wasn't long at all.
Yeah, this was like when AJ debuted, right?
Yes, when AJ beat him like in his first 6 months, and he took the title from him. Moxley or Ambrose at the time, probably had it for like a month, maybe 2 months.
Yeah. So you think C?
I'm gonna stick with you guys. I'm gonna go B. It was a good win. Yeah, I think he's fine there. I'm fine with that.
That's a good thing. Let's put him like in the lower end of B for now. I think that's good for him. So let's move on to the next person here. I am going to choose the man that beat him for the title, Mr. AJ Styles. I am going to just put this man up here. This return was insane. I never thought in a million years that this man would ever wrestle for this promotion. I was just like, he's too old. But that comeback was crazy. He won it in a matter of months. So I say S class. What do you think, Noc?
What do I think? Paul, what does Styles start with and end with?
Styles, it starts with an S, ends with an S. Oh, I see what you did there.
Let's put him where he belongs. This was for a guy coming from TNA when the whole narrative is people from TNA go to WWE and they get buried. To him, he'll just be a mid-carder. This was a huge win. He beat Cena, he beat Jericho, and then he beat Moxley for the title. This was huge. S.
I agree, 100%. Zach, do you agree?
Yeah, I won't argue. He actually made me care about that ugly belt. Like seriously, like his pedigree carrying that belt, that made that belt mean something.
It did.
Yep, 100% agree. And speaking of pedigrees,
oh, nice.
What do you think about this man right here? I have some mixed feelings, but Noc, why don't we get your opinion first?
I think with all his reigns, I mean, when he had he had a W title on SmackDown, I thought it was trash run. But he's had some good stuff. With the amount of reigns he had some good stuff in there. I'll give him the high end of the B.
High end of B? All right. I think that's fair enough. Zach, what about you? What do you think?
I'll say that too. The chaperone is okay with the belt post like stuff with like in like the early 2000s when he was doing like stuff with the belt. I felt afterward sometimes it kind of got into like almost Hogan booking. Not that bad, obviously, but like, hey, I want to be a champ in 6 months, so let's start a storyline. But he did have some good stuff with that belt. He did, and honestly, being who he was from the past, it actually made me believe that he was going to be a champ when he had that. So,
okay, all right, that's fair. I don't know. It's just that like, whenever I see the WWE title around this guy's waist, I'm just like, of course. And you're going to put it around his waist for like years and not take it off and not have him lose. But I feel like this specific title run within this time frame, was a little different. Because this is kind of like when, like, refresh my memory. This is like, was with Shawn Michaels.
W title from Raw to SmackDown, and then when he won it in the Rumble later on a bit. This is in this time frame.
Yeah, and he was like he was a face pretty much for the most. Or all
not for the Rumble run. He was a heel for the Rumble win.
Yeah. I'll place him in B. Even though like I hate that they always choose this man to be the main guy. He is just that damn good, and I have to give him props. So I think B's a good spot for him. But let's move on to the next person here, Sheamus. Zach, what do you think about Sheamus?
Oh gosh.
C or D. This is like I love this guy, man. He's such a good fella.
Yeah.
In real life, he's probably one of the strongest people on the roster. He's so like good at being a heel and stuff like that. But this is like when they didn't have anything for him as champion. It was just coming out being who he was, and then waiting for someone to take it off of him. I didn't like him as champ. I just like him as a villain. I just like him as a villain floating around the roster. I don't like him as champ. I'll say a D.
I completely agree with you verbatim. I like you, Sheamus, but D. Noc, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'd agree. I didn't start liking Sheamus until he there's a few things he did early on that I liked, but not until he joined the bar and the stuff he's doing now with the character work. I think he's at his best. I think him and a few other people on this list got the title way before they were ready, and that hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
But all right. So is that a D for you as well?
Yeah, I'm fine with. I'll put him in C, but I mean because of your votes, he'll be in a D, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Sheamus, but your title run wasn't that great. But speaking of Sheamus and the bar, we got Cesaro. Wait, his picture's in here.
Oh, he's not WWE champ. He should be WWE champ, but he's not.
Yeah, Yeah, fix that, Vince. So since Cesaro's not here, let's move on to The Miz. So, Noc, do you like The Miz?
I do, and I think when he was IC champ, when SmackDown Live first started, he was at his best then.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine for the awesome gimmick, but it wasn't WWE Championship worthy. He did the best he could with it at the time. He just wasn't ready yet. I'll give him. I don't want to give him a C, but I can't put him on that same list as the B's. I think he's the high end of the C for me.
Okay. You see, I was gonna put him in A, just because I think this man's brilliant. Like, honestly, I was so proud of him when he won that title belt. I feel like he has some of the best character work in not only WWE, but just pro wrestling today. I always liked this guy, even though like people were doubting him, saying he couldn't wrestle, he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. He defeated those odds and he won the most prestigious title. And, you know, at that point, I was just like, you know, boo to you haters. You know, this guy achieved the impossible. So A for me, just like on a personal level. But Zach.
I'll even it out. I'll say a B.
Okay. Any reasons or?
I see both your sides, 100%. But I'll just say a B just to balance it out, just to see both sides. But I mean, technically, he was used as a placeholder and as a red herring for that WrestleMania match because you just didn't see it coming and you didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say I do like The Miz. I'm not against him winning it. He did deserve it at like some point in his career, and he did the best he could with it. Mm-hmm. It was just too soon for me, especially because like when he broke up Morrison, I thought Morrison was ready for that world title. I thought Miz wasn't ready yet.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he won it. He did retain at WrestleMania, you know, so that counts for something. People don't do that.
Yeah, and at least he has that. I mean, if he wasn't just plucked because he was good on the mic and he could just like deliver what they wanted to for that special angle, you wouldn't be able to say that he did win a title at Mania, main event Mania, and all that kind of stuff too. So good for him.
Exactly. Since we have a ranking of A, B, and C, I am just going to. Doc, he persuaded me. I'm going to push him down to B. He's great, but maybe he wasn't completely there. He wasn't completely ready. So I think B is a good place. And speaking of B, what do you think about this guy right here?
Oh, man.
Start off with you, Brock. Zach. I almost called you Brock. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
This is very difficult because he does draw big money. He does draw ratings. It's just his matches suck. Like, since he returned with this world title and all these runs, his matches have just been shit.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know how to grade this one. I'll say an A. I mean, like, you know, the big thing is to see who's going to take it off of him, and like to see him take it off other people sometimes is fun, but in Kofi's case, it's not, and it sucks.
Yeah. He's kind of like the Ivan Dragunov of WWE, in my opinion. Like, no one really likes him, but he's a beast, and yeah, I guess he adds to the storyline. Noc, what do you think?
When he won the W title, like not this last time when he lost to McIntyre, who did he lose to? I don't remember at all.
Seth.
Yeah,
it was Seth. It was W title too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Money in the Bank, the cash in.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of his matches for this world title. Honestly, I remember the matches he had like later on, like the Universal title, but his WWE title runs, he did draw. I'll give him that, but he don't show up to work. I'll give him an A. Yep. He's a big draw. He's the guy, so I'll give him an A. But this is a tough one, like Zach said.
Right. Honestly, I was gonna give him a C, but the man has 2 A's.
Yeah.
I say we just put him there.
Completely fine, but I understand that completely.
Yeah, totally.
And if we did the Universal title, this would easily be a D or an F.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. And if we're talking about personalities, he would be a Z. All right, so let's see. Who do I want to pick next? Okay, let's go with my Asian brother here, Mr. Jinder Mahal. Zach, what do you think about Jinder?
You know what? I'll give him a C. And I'm not going to give him a D because I am happy for him. He busted his ass on the Indies and he came back better than ever. His win was a surprise. It's just, again, they put this on someone to just kind of hold it for a while, and then they didn't write anything for him. I'm not blaming him at all for it. It's a C because of creative.
That is very true. Noc, what do you think?
WWE did everything wrong with gave him the title right now. Like, you don't experiment with your world champion. I mean, he got himself in great shape. He looked great. I loved his entrance, his demeanor. He had a title on him. He looked like a world champion. Because of that, because I loved the act, even though it was everything wrong, I'm giving it an S. This is great. No one kicked out of the Colossus. That is still unkicked out of, man. Most protected move. I know he's not going to be there. I don't necessarily agree. I know it's like a little out in the left field, but I'm giving it an S, man. I love that entrance.
All right.
Go with the title.
Okay. Jinder Mahal. This one's a tough one because, like you guys said, it's not his fault. It was Creative's fault, honestly. That he didn't have like the best run. But at the same time, like some of the stuff he said as champion kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, we can't forget that famous Shinsuke promo. That bullshit. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So...
I can't rightfully give him an S. I'll change my answer.
Yeah. It's like, I hate to be that guy to bring that up, but it was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're Asian too. Like, why? You know? But there was a part of me that was kind of just like, I'm glad that like an Asian American, or is he Canadian?
I think Canadian.
Yeah, or like an Asian Canadian, won the title belt. There aren't that many. But yeah, just some of the stuff he says, and honestly, with it kind of being like a lackluster run, I'm gonna put him in the bottom of B. So we have an A, a B, and a C. So would you guys say like maybe bottom of B?
I can't put him above Ray. I gotta change my answer to C.
C? Okay.
Yeah. I can't do that too. But you reminded me of that Shinsuke stuff. That's what really brought me down. I forgot that. I'll give him some slack because I'm sure he didn't write that, but it was still a terrible, terrible segment. It was bad.
100%. Yep. And all right, we're gonna move on here to another controversial figure here, Mr. Alberto Del Rio. Why D?
He's a terrible dude. I think so that's how Jinder was presented very badly. They presented him greatly. They gave him everything, man. A mouthpiece, to announce his name, the cars, the pyrotechnics. I just don't think he ever lived up to that grandeur of winning the Rumble, winning the championship, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he was cool. I like his armbar stuff. I like some of the mixed martial arts stuff he did. But I don't like it. I don't like him at all. I don't like the run. I don't even remember it.
That's true. You know what? I used to have a very soft spot for Alberto Del Rey, but ever since that thing happened, of course, I lost a significant amount of respect for him. And also, like, you're right, thinking back on his title run, it really wasn't. I mean, he had that feud with John Cena, but that's like the only thing I can really think of. Like, do you have anything else, Zach? Or
no, I'll put him there. So there's certain guys who you just kind of like root for to get the title, and there's like a build up because they don't have it. It's just like these people are like before your first time having sex. So you're just like, oh my god, yeah, I can't wait. Oh, they won the belt. Oh, that was it. I don't know, man. You just fizzled out. It wasn't good, and I don't know.
Yep, he came too quickly and fizzled out. It looks like we're gonna have to put our boy in D, unfortunately. If this was 2 years ago, I would say sorry, but you're a piece of shit, so you belong there. Yep. Next up, we have let's do Mr. CM Punk. What do y'all think of CM Punk? Let's start off with you, Zach, or you, Noc.
You can go ahead now.
That's a spotlight. Modern day does.
Like, it's
he's ass class, man. Great run from him. Great promo stuff. I loved it. And he took it he wasn't supposed to be the guy, but he took it.
Yeah, and he was no pushover either. He let Vince know, like, I'm not fucking scared of you. like, I'm going to throw pipe bombs all over the place. Fuck you. S. Like, he lives up to his name. That is 100% Punk. You agree, Zach?
I agree, except for like his promos after the second time after he came back, like after his month absence and he came back, his promos got soft, like pretty soft. It's
really?
almost like it's almost like WWE kind of helped write them or like proofread them beforehand.
Remind me, because I always like this man's promos.
I mean, they're good and everything, but I mean, like before that, like the pipe bomb, even when he was in the Straight Edge Society. Like he was saying pretty risky stuff on TV.
Yeah, it was great stuff.
Like he wasn't doing the risk factor was gone when he signed a new contract.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
He's total S class though. I mean, like, I'm sorry, that Money in the Bank pay-per-view is fucking legendary.
Yeah,
it truly is.
Like 100%. But so would you like maybe put him in A since you have like some doubts there?
No, S class. He still
S-class?
did great promos and everything, and like even when you're saying stuff that's not as like biting as it was beforehand, he still delivered it with like this cockiness. So like he did it better than any other heel in WWE at the time, or face, even for that matter.
True. That is very true. And for that,
he's taller in person than I realized.
Yeah, he is very intimidating, but nice.
Is he tall? He's tall. He doesn't seem like a tall person to me. Just looking at him on TV.
At least 6'2".
6'2". Really? So he's like my height? I didn't know that.
I'll look it up. You can continue.
I could be wrong.
Do that JR math. He's 7'9" and 500 pounds.
All right. So moving on.
No, he is 6'2".
Oh, he's 6'2". Damn.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Supposedly, that's what the bio says.
Yeah, it does.
Speaking of people who are over 6 feet, what do we think about this man right here? Zach, what do you think?
Boring, but you can actually leave him in the B. I love him now that he's back.
Boring. Yeah.
He's
doing great now.
Yeah, and the thing was, like, this day and age, you get to see people outside of the ring, like in backstage segments or on YouTube or whatever. This is a cool dude. I don't know why they kept this gimmick with him and all this stuff, man. I'm so hyped for his new ring gear at Clash of Champions. I'm hyped for the new music that's going to debut in like a month or two. I'm excited for him now. This stuff was boring. It was like Cena with less of a personality.
Yeah. Completely agree. What about you, Noc? What do you think?
I think Jericho might have said it. Like, if you just let him be him, he'll become the biggest star. You don't need him. If just because it worked with Cena doesn't mean you need to do it again. Let someone be themselves and be big on their own. You don't need to copy, rinse, repeat. And like Zach said, he's doing amazing right now. Like, he's technically a heel, but like he still has like some redeemable qualities going on. He has personality, the family bloodline stuff. He's great right now. But the title runs, I don't remember. The first one especially, I don't remember. The other one, I don't know, man. And it didn't last long. Oh, the AJ matches. Those AJ matches are amazing. I'll give him a B, but the title runs weren't the best.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? That's a good spot for him. You make good points. I think B is a good place. That's really all I have to say about that. This guy is kind of boring, Zach. You're right.
Well, on the flip side, though, he's the guy you want to go have a beer with.
Yeah.
That's true. He seems like a swell guy. But
just let him be himself.
Just let him be himself. But the complete opposite of a swell guy. Noc, what do you think about Randy Orton?
I'm torn, man, because if I'm thinking about all the W title runs he had in this time, I think this is when he, was like ball-headed Randy Orton, full heel with Triple H, and then the last one he had against Bray Wyatt, which was terrible title run. I wanted to give him an A, but I might give him a high B. He's still one of the top. He was a top heel. He could have been more, but I think a high B is good for him.
A high B. Okay. Do you agree, Zach, or not?
Yeah, no, I agree. He would have been A or S class if it wasn't for himself, and if it wasn't for Cena.
That's true. Was this like his Apex Predator days?
Yeah, I think this was like the end of Viper, beginning of Apex Predator stuff. And then that last like sweatshirt wearing Randy Orton.
Oh yeah.
Pretending to be Wyatt family.
That was fucking awful. Don't do that again. If this was any other timeline, I would say S, because it's Randy freaking Orton. But
I'm actually missing when he beat Daniel Bryan, he was like the double champ for a while. That too.
Right.
That was during this time.
You're right.
That might change my mind a bit, though.
Your mind or my mind?
It might change my mind a bit. I might bump it to an A because of that stuff. That's some legendary stuff there, man.
You know what? Yeah. Let's put him there. I think he deserves to be at least above Brock. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next person here. I'm just gonna put him up there. You guys agree?
Yeah, I do, just because of the fact that this is one of the first times we had a positive champ. I know it's like their moniker, power positivity, but it's just like when you watch a movie or TV show and they focus on like characters and like people showing like affection and love towards each other, it's almost like new to you now because everyone is so loud and so hateful and like swearing and so like whatever that like affection is like, that's really wrestling. Great. Yeah, so I mean him as a champ, I found it very, very refreshing because a lot of people when they are champ become kind of like a signature kind of character as a champ.
Right. Yeah, they automatically go to that default like badass character, which is so overdone. So overdone. So I see what you mean there. Noc, what do you think?
I have no disagreements. This is S-Class. This was before Rey Mysterio winning the world title, at Mania was my big thing, but Kofi stole that and then some. This was like my biggest pride I ever felt watching wrestling. So for a title, this was amazing.
Yeah, dude, I cried along with Xavier and Big E. Like, that was such a good WrestleMania moment. That's one WrestleMania I will not forget. I was so high on wrestling at the time. I'm just like, this is what we need. This is exactly what we need right now. Like Zach said, like we need someone positive. We need a person with color. He was just the right person at the right time. It was a great moment. And then, Vince McMahon had to fucking shit on it by, making Brock get off of him in 5 seconds, which is bullshit. Speaking of that, fuck you, Brock. Do you all agree?
Yeah, put him in S.
With Kofi, yeah, in S.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move him there. I think that's fair. Just for what he did to Kofi.
That's fine.
All right, so moving on. Let's go to... Ooh, I saved a lot of good ones for last.
Yeah.
Let's move on to one of my favorites here. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Noc.
I would love to see him in A, but I don't quite. I think his title run got undercut. I don't know, with the backstage stuff going on, maybe some of the booking, but he could have walked into Mania with his title, and then they cut it short, and then he started feuding with his brother. The big win was amazing. Yeah. The celebration, the confetti, go on top of the pay-per-view stage, beating Edge and Triple H. Great. One of the best championship wins I've ever seen. But I don't remember the run that much. I think they undercut it a bit. So I'm going to give him a B. Like low end of the B for me.
Low end of B. All right.
He could have been S. He was a superstar, man. He was outselling Cena.
That's true. He was the biggest thing at the time.
He was.
Yeah, and I would have never in a million years would have thought they would ever put not only a singles title on Jeff Hardy, but the main title, the WWE title. I was so proud as a Jeff Hardy fan, but Noc, you do make a good point. They did end it a little too soon for a feud with his brother that wasn't that great, in my opinion. So if we're going to talk about title runs alone, yeah, B. B is a good place, but if it's just for, the sentimental value, I would put him higher, but let's be fair here. Zach, what do you think?
For the same reason as I graded Del Rio, his title win was great, and then afterwards is like, this is it. Again, I don't know if he just, started, thinking since he was so on top, selling the merch, has the strap, that all of a sudden he's going to start living a rock star life. And there was like some sloppiness in his matches while he was champion. And then, of course, it was taken off too soon. This run was not what I wanted out of Jeff Hardy at all, so I'll just say a C.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. During this time, it was some of his worst ever whispering wins. Like, he wasn't even making contact at some points.
I love how you were just recording, like, not his wins, not his losses, but his whisper in the wins. That's what you were keeping track of.
Because I remember that most. Like, I was like, wow, what is going on with Jeff? But I love him, man. He's one of my favorites.
Wasn't this like when he almost like broke his neck, but like Jericho saved him by catching him? Was it the same time?
Maybe. I don't remember that, but that sounds familiar. I don't know if it was that time period though, but maybe.
That gave me a freaking heart attack. I'm just like, don't get injured again, please. But speaking of people that came back from injuries, Edge. Zach, what do you think about Edge?
I think he's an S-class title holder.
I agree with you.
He is exactly how a heel should be. He is not how every heel should be, obviously. He was Edge as a heel, and it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Noc, what about you?
I love Edge. He's my favorite heel of all time. I don't think he finally came into his own until he won the world title as opposed to the WWE title. I thought, again, he got undercut with his championship because of the whole Cena thing. But what he did with a short amount of times, and even when he lost the belt and still chasing it, he's S-class, man. He maximized everything about his run and being in that title picture. This is greatness.
Yep.
Who took that belt off him again?
I don't remember.
And his name is John Cena!
Oh, God, sorry,
Several
Zach.
times. Was it twice at least?
Yeah.
In fact, when he fought Cena at the TLC match, that's the most memorable match I think I have when I think back about them. Cena was getting booed a lot that match. There was a lot of boos on the Cena
People started seeing, this guy's clearly more entertaining. Yeah. Let him have the spotlight for a while. Put Cena back down in, like, not mid-card, but, lower upper card. And this is the kind of crap that really pissed me off about Cena. It was like, Edge could have been a lot better.
Right. Yep. Yeah. But you know what? Edge still got to slap his dad, so there's that. Moving on, let's go to, I would say, honestly, the best on the roster as of right now. I don't know if you guys agree, but Noc, what do you think about Bray Wyatt?
Bray Wyatt is amazing. I just think he gave some of the best promos. I love like the cinematic feel. I thought it felt like watching kind of like a movie. Everything with the Wyatt family was great. What he's doing right now is, legendary stuff. But the title run, who he beat, he pinned Cena and he pinned AJ in Elimination Chamber. So great win, amazing. But that title run was trash, man. Randy Orton, that whole feud, he lost it in a month. That match with the projections on the floor, I was not into any of it. So that drops a lot. But the win, I got to give him a C, I think, honestly.
A C?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I would say top of C, honestly.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, I think. Because the win...
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber win, that's some points right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And I just think that, like, honestly, he was somebody that you were building, that the WWE was doing a really good job building up. Like, I was just like, who's this guy? Okay, so this is the next big villain of the WWE. Cool. You built us up. He wins the title. And then he does nothing with it. So a little lackluster there. So I'm gonna have to agree with C.
Yeah, I think part of it too was his title run was way overdue. So then he lost it so quick that kind of rubbed me the wrong way also.
Yeah. What do you think, Zach?
I'm fine with it there. They didn't know how to tell the story with Randy Orton. They didn't know how to hit the beats with it. It was so off, and it contradicted itself a couple times in the storytelling. And this was way too short of a title reign. So, it's there.
Yeah. Sorry, Bray, but your title reign wasn't that great. But speaking of great title reigns, let's move on to my man's. I mean, he's just one of the best.
Not at all, man.
Yeah.
The American Dragon.
Yeah. What do you think, Doc?
Again, I keep saying this, but this is one of the greatest wins of all time. That win alone at Mania, beating Triple H first and Orton and Batista later on in the night. This wasn't supposed to happen. He made it happen. They actually listened to the crowd reacting for they were forced to listen. I know the injury hampered his title run a bit, but the win was so epic. It's S-class.
Yep. Yeah. And how about you, Zach?
Yeah, if it wasn't for the injury, then who knows what we'd have gotten, but I'm fine with it right there in S-class.
Yep. And I just want to reiterate that I think the WWE shop is still selling still WWE Champion Daniel Bryan shirts, so let that sink in. But let's move on to another big hitter here. Zach, what do you think about Mr. Seth Rollins?
Awesome cash-in. That was one of the biggest moments in a while. WrestleMania needed a big moment like that. The title reign was okay. I didn't like him with the Authority and having like side characters.
Yeah, so you're speaking about Roman and Dean there?
No, what's her name?
Like Jamie Noble?
Yes.
And I don't know the other guy, I forget.
Joey Mercury.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't really, this is kind of when I fell out of wrestling for a bit.
Okay.
But I do remember Joey Mercury being back and just being like, what the fuck? Like, why'd you pick these two? Honestly, like, I don't really remember much of his title run during this time, to be honest with you. It's another Batista with me. Noc, what do you think?
Yeah, this is like, when he had the Sting match and he fought Cena for the US belt. He's going back and forth, WWE Champion, US Champ. This is one of his. He was great as a heel. It just, I don't know. The run could have been a lot better. I think I got to give him a B. Great cash in, but the run could have been better.
Yeah, total B. Just because he was doing mid card heel work. It wasn't like championship heel work, in my opinion.
It's kind of funny that you say that, because that's kind of how I even kind of feel about Seth right now. Like, you know what I mean? Do you guys feel the same way?
I kind of did, like, for a while, but this stuff with Dom is just so good. Like, I love everything going on with this, so I'm fine with it. But for a lot of time when he was figuring this out, it kind of just felt like mid card, not really main event.
Yeah, you were just playing like the generic bad guy. Like, you're a decent actor, but I don't know, give us something different, But still, pretty decent title run, I guess, according to you guys. So B.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. So that brings us down to the final title holder here. And this man needs no introduction. My mom even knows who this is. And she's an old Korean lady. Just gonna put him up there. There you go. There we go. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I can't disagree. He's the biggest thing ever in wrestling, pretty much, and now acting.
Electrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you challenged him, he would just mouth off to you. Like, great champ. Like, that's what a champ should be. Like, I'm the champ.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fucking great.
Yep.
This run particularly, though, with him versus this is when he beat CM Punk in that time frame, and he fought Cena at Mania.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that one good. Wasn't that? I don't know.
Yeah, this one was the best run. So if we're going off that run, then no. But like all around, he's S-class for WWE Championship.
Yeah, I mean it's the freaking Rock. Yeah. He's the highest paid entertainer in the world right now for a very good reason, and it all started with the WWE.
The longest gap between title wins, like WWE Champions. He might, because it was a while from this title win to the other one.
When was the last title win?
When did he leave? Maybe, was it 02 maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking 02. And then that's when he kind of left for a bit. And then he came back in like 05, I think? Could be.
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, I remember him last Mania match. I remember him wrestling with the Batista one with Evolution, him and Foley.
Yeah. So I think we all agree. Rock's the best of the best. Well, in my opinion.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. But S-Class for sure.
Yeah. Who are you voting for S-Class?
What's that?
Who's your S-Class
vote? Like, who's your pick?
Fuck. You guys go first.
Okay.
Paul, you said The Rock, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna still stand behind The Rock. He's the freaking Rock.
I think Kofi has the greatest win out of all of them. I love Edge's heel work, but I'm gonna go AJ.
All right. Fair enough. Zax, did you come up with a decision or not?
Yeah, it's between yours actually. Both of yours. Get that piece of trash out of S.
You know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Where do you want to move Cena personally? Zax?
In his fucking hefty bags that he endorses. Man, this is tough because The Rock is so... I don't know, but AJ is such a fighting champ.
I think you cut out in the beginning. What did you say there?
Just like The Rock is so huge and all the stuff that he did in his first, runs with the belt. Like AJ is such a fighting champion. Like his matches technically are superior.
True. So wait, who did you pick for your?
I'll pick The Rock.
The Rock? Okay. So I guess The Rock's the best. But you know what? Since I'm the host, I'm gonna try to do something a little different here. I want to switch it up. I say, since honestly, whether you like whoever's on this list or not, you have to admit everyone on this list is our future Hall of Famers or already in the Hall of Fame. So we all know that these guys are great. But I say, But I say let's switch it up a bit and let's pick one person to be who we completely strip the title from. Like, in other words,
I gotcha. Del Rio.
Del Rio? That's your pick?
Yep.
Why Del Rio?
I think he had the worst run. I don't like the guy. And everyone else at least deserved the belt.
Right. True.
Well, maybe September, but you get my point.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Same, Del Rio.
Del Rio?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? It was either down to him or Brock, but I think, honestly, as shitty as a person as Brock is, he didn't go as far as Alberto did, and it was a really bad title run, so I'm going to have to agree. Del Rio, you're the worst of the worst, and yeah, you are definitely not getting into the Hall of Fame now, so we don't ever have to worry about you going in there. So this is our list. Do you guys agree? Do you guys want to change anything? Let's start with you, Zach.
I'm fine with where everyone is.
Where everyone is?
Yeah,
everyone made good points.
I think so too.
With everyone.
This was a good list.
I think Eric's gonna have something to say about Cena being so low, though.
Who gives a shit what he thinks? He's not here. All right.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Kermit, for making this list. We had a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
If you want to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, West Coast Pop _.
And also, we all have some secret projects coming out. I just wanted to announce that. So definitely stay tuned. And remember to click on that notification bell to let you know whenever our new videos are coming out, because there are plenty that are coming out soon. So any final words, Zach? Before we leave, where can they find us?
I don't know, because it's way too late for that shit right now.
That's true. So All right, guys. I think that concludes this list. I had a great time. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week with honestly another tier list.
Take care, y'all.
See ya.
Peace out.